Did Getaround's sudden departure from the market in the U.S. shocked you? Well, I want to tell you the real reason behind their departure, and it's not what you think. Make sure you stay tuned for the entire video. We're going to break this down. Hey guys, my name is Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. Welcome to Car Share Genius. This is where we educate people about the car rental industry and we get people in the right direction. And today we're going to talk about Getaround. We're going to talk about their sudden departure. As you see here, there has been a situation where Getaround has sent out an email to everyone letting them know they ceased operations yesterday. And if your vehicle is still out there on our trip, they're going to get the vehicle back to you as soon as that trip is over. Anyone who's booking trips, they're no longer able to book trips in. They're going to work around to get that device that they have, the GPS tracking system, out of your vehicle. So you just need to be aware of that. You came here to figure out what is the reason for them to leave all of a sudden. And this is not something of a couple of bad sales. This is something that's been going on quite some time. I would say over 6 months. So let me give you some breakdowns here, because I typed this up on my phone and I wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible. Now, this is not the first vehicle company who do peer-to-peer shut that has shut down. There is Avail. Avail has been shut down. You had Hire Car. They got gobbled up into Getaround. And it's pretty shocking once you look at this information. So let's start from the top right here. Okay. Hire Car left May of 2023. They got sucked up into Getaround. And then in July of 2024, Avail gone. Now, February 11th, we're looking at this now. They have went away out of the U.S. market. Not saying that they're gone for good, but they're out of the U.S. market. So there's a few things that you need to take away from this, and I'm going to offer you a solution at the very end. Now, the thing is that when you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, what happened? What did they do wrong? And it's not something they did wrong. I think they might have overreached. There's a few items that we can talk about. Getaround decided to exit the U.S. market due to ongoing liquidity challenges that rendered the U.S. operations unsustainable. Despite efforts to improve profitability, restructure the company, financial difficulties still persist. As a result, on February 11, 2025, Getaround announced plans to wind down the U.S.-based operations, including both its car sharing and hire car services, while continuing operations in the European markets. This decision followed a series of financial setbacks, including a delisting from the New York Stock Exchange in July 2024 due to failure to meet the market capitalization requirements. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of what that means right there. So they did go into the New York Stock Exchange. The problem with it is that they could not meet their requirements on the New York Stock Exchange. As a result of that, they had to be delisted. They were dependent on getting more funding through that. And a lot of folks were posting stuff on Facebook talking about the value was going down. You know, it was going down in results of not being able to commit to what they needed to do for their shareholders. Another thing that I want to point out too are some curious things that you should know about the company. Now, before they got on the stock exchange, everything was kind of like, okay, we're spending more money than we have. We got to get more money. And the best way is to go public and start selling shares of the company to get more money. Okay, that's true. But then their stock was still going down from 2022 all the way up to 2024. And when you take yourself off, or they took them off, they didn't say, hey, I want to step down. When they delist you from the New York Stock Exchange, that is a major red flag right there. Prices start to go down. They were not profitable. None of that good stuff. And the business model. Another thing to talk about the business model here is that they didn't know how to turn whatever they had into profit. Now, this is dealing with costs, insurance, vehicle maintenance, customer service, all the good things that you have when you're calling a car rental company. They were just stepping over. And there was another thing that was going on that I stated this earlier. They're spending more money than they were getting, and that was causing a lot of issues. Additionally, management changes and restructuring. When you constantly have leaders going in and out, either they're getting fired or they quitting, they're going to have their own style. I've learned this in the military. They're going to have their own style. I want to do it this way. I'm going to do it that way. Even though you might have something good that might say, I want to set the stamp. I'm going to do a lot of good things. Additionally, laying off staff and attempt to save themselves, that cut them even more. So if you're in a situation with customer service and you got many people calling, hey, I got issues with my car, things like that. I'm a host, I'm a guest, all those things right there. And you decide, I'm just going to cut my staff in half to save me. That's not really a save right there, because now you're gonna have longer wait times. Imagine this, you calling, you're able to talk to your rep in about 5 minutes. Now you wake up a few days later, that 5 minutes becomes 1 hour. Or hey, you waited too long, we email you or call us back at a later time. That was becoming another telltale sign. And then I think what they understood was that there was other competitors, traditional competitors in the United States, along with other ones that do peer-to-peer sharing like TURO, and there's other ones out there that, hey, we need to focus on going into another market. So they refocused their efforts and abandoned America to go to the European market. And there were no new incentives. So for this company to be like, hey, we're bringing all these product launches, we're doing all these things in the United States, there was nothing that was going to be like, hey, we're going to give incentives. We can work with these companies. We're going to work with the airport, rail system, all these good stuff to tie it in. And overall, when looking at this, is that they saw a competitor that was just doing everything that they wanted to do, but they were not able to do it because they didn't have the right strength, they didn't have the right power, they didn't have the right tools, and that was TURO. TURO made it very difficult for this company to do the things that they needed to do. Yes, Getaround, you could put an older car on there. The car could be on there, it could be way, way old, it could be old, long as it's maintained. But hey, what are you paying the host? What are the guests saying about the vehicle? Is it requiring you to do a lot of claims or whatnot? Because TURO, if a car is in a situation, it is like, let's say, Getaround, getting an accident or whatnot, they're only going to do so much, total cost, total loss, whatever it may be. You will have to be able to handle it, and TURO's always been handling it. And another thing, like I say, is just they couldn't handle this. They could not handle the situation when it came to all these competitors, along with not making the requirements for their shareholders. Now, I want to say this. This hurt a lot of people that was on Getaround. I literally saw people say, hey, look at what my fleet doing. Some people say, well, I can just go to another one. But again, if your vehicle has long history, meaning that, let's say you had a 2011 or a 2009 vehicle, you might not find a place to put that vehicle. You may have to just take that L. Or you got too many miles on the vehicle and no one wants that vehicle on that platform. Like TURO has a certain age requirement and a certain mileage requirement. Other people do that as well too. Some folks are even in a worse spot. I remember doing this, going to the airport when I was with Avail, and was going to go pick up my vehicle, or actually go rent a vehicle, and they said, hey, we're glad you called, we need you to come pick up your vehicle, we're going out of business. And they just dropped it on us just like that. So this is similar to what this happened. What the rep told me at Avail, they say, hey, you're better off than some of these other guys. One guy bought 6 cars, brand new, last week, to put on Avail to make money. I said, are you serious? And said, yeah, we got to call him real quick. Hope that he can get his money back or get some of his money back. And he said he paid over $100,000 to put his cars on to Avail. And this is why I tell people, those with telltale signs, soon as you saw that there was declining performance with a stock, it should have been like, hey, I might want to step away from this market and go do something else. So those are the key things that took place. But hey, wait, I want to talk to you something more. Let's talk about Turo. This is the same platform that these guys got beat out by. What made Turo different? They have more variety. There was in more markets. They were able to provide the customer service. They're not even public yet. They're waiting to go public. So the money's coming in. They have a really good business model as far as, hey, we're not spending too much money. And on top of that, you are able to list many vehicles you want to based off the requirements. Hey, how old is the vehicle? Is the vehicle running? Is it operational? Does it look good? And I believe with Getaround, they have older cars. So they will list cars real cheap. Like, hey, you want a 2001 Corolla, $12 a day. And some people jump on that, but honestly, you're not making real money. They get a little bit of money. Think about it. Now with Turo, they do take a fee after a car's written. That's their booking fee. Hey, here's the fee that we take out of your cut and let you proceed forward. It could have been so small, it was insignificant, and they really didn't make the numbers. Now, I want to provide you a solution, guys. I want to provide you something that's going to actually help you out. If you are looking at this video right now and you feel like this has been bringing you value to educate you, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Need you to do that. So let's get into it. I think that the best thing you need to do for the folks who out there, if you got cash cars, look, do your research and see if you could get with a rental company. If you don't want to deal with, if you don't want to deal with these other ones, because there are other ones out there. There are about 3 or 4 of them. The main one that stands out is Turo. If your vehicle, if you want to go there, it's pretty straightforward. For me, it felt like it was semi-passive, right? I made it passive. I made it where I was able to do the car industry with Turo remotely. Now, a lot of people are like, wait a minute, huh? What you mean, like outside your door? No, I mean outside the country. I'm not even living in the country right now. And with Turo, they have their rules, they have their guidance and whatnot. You can't mess up on it, and we'll make sure you don't mess up on it. The other thing I would say too is that if your vehicles do not meet the criteria, sell those vehicles. Go ahead and sell those vehicles, whether you got to take it to an auction, you need to take it to a used car place, wherever it may be. If you're financing a vehicle and you got those miles going over, I could see you still doing something where you can still sell that car at the dealership, depending on how much they're going to give you to get yourself out that loan, because that vehicle's not doing anything for you. I made a rule to myself that the vehicles that I buy are not the vehicles that I drive. That sounds good, right? The vehicles that I buy are the vehicles I do not drive. Meaning that they're not the type of style, oh, I want to drive this car, or this is the car I want to drive. Because I had to think about that when I started out with renting cars. I'm like, hey, I need to get economical cars. I need to get cars that everyday people are driving that's not so luxury. Because I go for economic cars. You can go for luxury wherever you want to, but that was my preference. Because I know those cars are everyday working cars for people who need to get to point A to point B and happen want to go point C. Another thing that I would say too is, in order for anyone to prevent themselves falling for this, stick to cash cars only. Stay away from finance cars, because again, you do not own Getaround. You do not own Avail. You didn't own Hire Car. You don't own Hertz. You don't own Turo. Get your cars in cash so you can liquidate those quickly. Once you are able to do that, you can safely say, okay, if I want to walk away from the business, you can walk away from the business. Some people, and I feel fortunate for them, they put everything in it, meaning they quit their job. This is where they were getting paid and this and that. And now they're waking up to an email right now saying, hey, we're out of business. Just like that. Now, maybe they got a courtesy phone call, but according to what I've seen, people are waking up to emails as of yesterday saying there's no more Getaround. But if you do decide, guys, and this is what I want to finish off with, if you do decide to make this happen, this jump, because I was the same way you were when I was dealing with Avail, when they say, hey, you got to get your car out this week, it's gone, you got to figure something else. I had to make a choice, either take the car to the lot and go take a loss on a car rental business or press forward. I recommend you pressing forward. If you can afford to press forward, press forward. No one's trying to go back to a 9-to-5 job. No one's trying to sit there and be like, well, you know, I tried, I'm a loser. You know, I don't want people to have that mindset. I want people to win. And you truly got to win. If you really want it, you got to go after it. It's going to be obstacles. What I recommend is to go with TURO. Straightforward, straight, easy. With TURO, I was able to learn the ropes. I was able to make everything work for me. I did take studying in it. It took me about 3 or 4 years, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'd start making money right away. That was the whole thing. But learning the tricks, the habits, understanding price and optimization, understanding the GPS system, because you have to put your GPS system in there. I recommend that for any vehicle. Understanding how to deal with customer service on the phone when you're trying to call in about a customer bringing a vehicle late or there's an issue. Being able to go through all that stuff, all that stuff, I discovered how to make this thing work, and it paid off. Made myself an all-star host the first round. When I started, still going, still pressing forward, and I'm happy to be part of it. Now, I do want to offer you something too, because I know you're saying, well, hell, it took you 3 years. I don't have 3 years. You're right, you don't have 3 years, but you do have time to check out this book that I'm offering called Starting Out with TURO. Starting Out on TURO is the book that I wrote, that I put everything in there, A to Z, on the basic fundamentals of how TURO works, how to get everything going the way you want it to go, and making sure you avoid those errors that I made. I put what I did wrong, what I did right, so you can avoid the nonsense. Additionally, for the ones who say, I do not have time to be reading a book, which is a short book, but I don't have time, or I need more than that, I feel you. I have a course that you can enroll in right now called Car Share Genius. Right now, I'm offering it at a discounted rate. This course is going to provide you a more comprehensive A to Z interactions with me, all my templates, direct access to me, where we're having private coaching sessions. We're having a community session. We're having everything that you need to do in regards to get yourself set up. I'm going to show you my GPSs. I'm going to show you how I do my lockbox techniques, remote access. I'm going to actually show you how to work your business remotely. Again, I'm not living in the United States. I'm living in Bahrain. And you're able to do the same thing wherever you want to be. As long as you have internet access, you're able to do this. I've made the course where you will see step-by-step 28 modules, digestible, easy to understand, to get you in the right path. Definitely you want to check that out. This is the course. Links will be down in the description. Make sure you check that out. And guys, if you're just curious about things, I'm open. I'm open to you, that you can reach out to me. I put my one-on-one 15-minute free consultation call where we can talk and discuss whatever it is that you want to talk about for 15 minutes, whether you're from Getaround or you're on TURO, what you should do, how you should set yourself up in 15 minutes. Now, it's not going to be everything, but I can give you some guidance on there. So guys, definitely check it out. Hurry up while you do it, while you still have a chance, because it is filling up very fast. I definitely want people to win. I don't want people to go back to their 9-to-5 jobs. That was the whole point of doing this whole peer-to-peer share, to be like, hey, I want to fire my 9-to-5, or I want to have extra money come to me. I don't want to be working extra hours. I don't want to be doing DoorDash. I don't want to sit here be working at Pizza Hut or Domino's or wherever it may be. I don't want to be sitting here picking up cans. I don't want to be doing all that stuff. I wanted to think smart, and you did the smart thing, but things do happen, and we're going to talk about it. If you're new to this channel, again, guys, make sure you subscribe. I want you to make sure that you catch all my episodes. everything that I talk about to help you get yourself set up in the right direction. Again, guys, thank you so much. For the ones that took that loss with Getaround, I feel your pain. I've been through that situation with Avail, but I turned it around with TURO. So definitely check it out. Check out the course, check out the book. Give me a consultation call. I'll be able to handle you, be able to talk to you, and we'll work this through. Again, my name is Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. And also, check out these videos too to get yourself going. Take care, guys. Peace.